because I could have become a bit of a dropout or whatever. That's the problem now, is that's the gap. It's really easy to start your own business up.
Well, hello and welcome to the About Small Business podcast, the podcast that highlights people in business all across the northeast of England. In this episode, I'm going to be speaking to Karl Okey from Derwent Decorators. Karl, thank you very much for joining me on the podcast.
Much appreciated.
That's absolutely fine. Now, Karl, we've spoken before. We've passed across many times in the past. You've got a decorating business. But it is actually not just it's a very successful decorating business, isn't it? And you're not just the kind of guy that you'd ring up to pop round to someone's house and paint. You have some quite major contracts, don't you?
We've got contracts with NHS, social housing.
You're doing pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So if I can take you back, because in previous conversations that we've had, we've talked about school. We've talked about you've said that school wasn't really the place for you.
No.
You didn't particularly enjoy it? Is that fair?
I think it was more of I just wasn't interested in nothing at all with school.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that my house was 3 minutes walk away and you could go home at dinner time and not return.
Did that happen a lot?
Yeah.
You're happy to admit that, knowing that your kids might watch this?
No, they know. I've told them.
Yeah.
My whole family knows. Like, my mother used to catch us.
Yeah.
In the living room, and I was always put in the bottom class, and the only interest I had was PE and football.
Right.
PE day, yeah, I'd stay all day. Other days I'd just go for a wander. I was in the bottom class of everything, and you would just treat like a nobody. Back in the day.
Yeah. Do you think that's, I mean, is your impression that that's changed now?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I think, like, a lot of it now, you've got these kids with certain things going on in the head and whatnot. Not that I don't think I did. I was just not interested, and I never spent the time.
I was going to ask you what sort of was the motivation for just leaving? Was it a case of like, there's nothing here for me?
Yeah. Wasting time.
Wasting your time. That's how you felt at a young age.
Totally.
Did you have any kind of direction as to, you thought, right, I'm going to go on to do this, and this isn't going to help me achieve that? Was it
Not
that kind
at
of
all.
level? No.
I wanted to be an electrician, and I went to the careers officer and I says I want to be an electrician, and they just turned around and went, "You're too thick."
I've got to just pause there. Did they actually use that term?
Probably not, but
right.
That's what it come across to me.
Yeah, and I think that, and that's fair. I mean, Peter Kay did a sketch where he talks about in his class at school there was a thick table, and I'm just trying to imagine a teacher or someone working in a school where you effectively call someone thick, and
that was just like a figure of speech. Like, you haven't got the intelligence to become an electrician.
But I mean, I think overriding that is like how that must have left you feeling.
Oh yeah, that basically they said that I'm better off a labourer or a bricklayer on site somewhere, because they knew I wasn't going to get the grades.
I suppose in itself it's mildly insulting to bricklayers and labourers, isn't it? It's just,
totally.
Yeah.
Anyone in construction, really.
Yeah.
I actually went for an interview with an Northumbrian Water, and I just looked at you had to fill an exam sheet in, and I just looked at it and walked out, because there was just, I didn't understand it.
The school didn't equip you with the skills to even fill in an application form.
No.
And that in effect cost you a job. That's not good at all, is it?
I did other interviews and it was like, it's not for me. And then I got offered a job as an apprentice decorator.
So you were in the industry that early on then. So how old would you have been at that time?
16.
16, right.
As soon as I left school, I started in September. We did 3 weeks at college and 3 weeks on site with the company.
Would that have been YTS?
Yes, £29.50.
£29.50 a week, yeah.
Plus your bus fare.
You got your bus fare? I didn't realise you got your bus fare as well.
As long as you kept your bus ticket, yeah.
Right.
But, so we did that. That was a 2-year apprenticeship. 2-year YTS, which was to turn into an apprenticeship if you were good enough.
Right.
According to your company who you did your apprenticeship with. Then got asked to be an apprentice. Kept going to college for another... We were at college for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I did 2 years night school as well. And I never nicked off college. I loved it.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because that's often what you find. And I mean, certainly as a teacher, I was very much aware of that. It's like, so if you can incentivize, if kids have got something to turn up for,
yeah,
they're going to come along.
Oh yeah.
Aside from, I know there are a number of conditions that will prevent that, but essentially for a lot of pupils, and I did often used to teach some of the lower sets, and often I think in my school occasionally we would set on behaviour as well as just simply grades, which was interesting. But again, the engagement that you would get from kids who didn't necessarily want to behave, if they'd got a reason, if you were doing an interesting lesson, and I think what I found, I can only speak sort of personally, anecdotally on this, is like if you're prepared to have a laugh with the kids there, with the pupils there, show a bit of an interest in them, and if they knew that you cared, then they would be happy to come along.
Yeah.
Because they'd see you as a person. But I mean, it sounds like you didn't get any of that from...
I think the major problem was obviously being in all the lower sets was I wasn't horrible to teachers. I wasn't nasty to them. I was polite.
Right.
And the other kids that weren't nice, they got all the attention.
Yeah.
So we were basically just sat at the back of the class.
If you're enjoying this content, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to let you know exactly when another podcast's going to drop. There are lots of issues I have with the way of setting like that, because you do tend to have all of the vulnerable kids in the one place, and that can create a lot of chaos, because vulnerability, we tend to think when we talk about vulnerable children, we tend to think about the shy ones that can't defend themselves. But the vulnerable ones are often the very aggressive ones.
Yeah.
And, because of and it's just how they're reacting to whatever traumas, issues that are going on. And you've got these two quite extreme emotional responses in a classroom all together, along with a number of kids, and it sounds like you fit into this category, that could just do with a bit of assistance.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to say that there's nothing, that's the whole point of going to school, is to get that assistance.
Yeah.
A top set kid might manage to figure it out for themselves eventually, but if they're getting the right assistance, then they're going to go on to achieve good things in that subject. And unfortunately, I think I'd like to think that things have improved. I'm still not convinced that they're there yet, is that we're not managing to put everyone on the correct path.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, my son, he works for me now. He's got an apprenticeship with me. And I look at him and I think, that was a little bit like me.
But you're in a position where you've been able to help him.
Yeah.
Which in itself is a tremendous success that, I know you are very proud of.
And my daughter works for me.
Yeah. And how fantastic's that?
Yeah. Keep it in the family.
Do they feel it's fantastic as well?
Yeah, they're like all my family and everyone's dead proud of me.
Yeah.
Like, because I could have become a bit of a dropout or whatever.
Let's just pause on that, because I think that's really significant, because there's a couple of things that you've mentioned that I would like to explore further. One is what stopped you from becoming a dropout, but before we go there, I just want to pick up on the YTS, because you said you did your YTS and then you went on to, you effectively qualified from that to go on to an apprenticeship. Now, I remember at the time, because I remember the YTS coming out, there was a bit of controversy surrounding them, that employers were using the YTS to get cheap labour.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering how you felt about that, particularly given that you're an employer now.
Back then, yes, because you saw lads, even for the company I worked for, come and go because they didn't want to paint fences.
Right.
And basically they were getting used to painting fences.
Right.
But now I think because the way the minimum wages, apprenticeship wages are, I think it's even harder now for companies to take on apprentices.
It's interesting. I was chatting to a friend of mine the other day. His son wants to be an electrician, and apparently they're just in this area that aren't many companies. I think it says he was aware of one company that's prepared to take on apprentices.
Yeah.
Which isn't really helping anyone, is it? Because we've got a shortage of tradesmen.
I think the problem is obviously you're getting a school leaver, which that's great, but after a year and a half or when they turn 18, their wages, they don't know anything compared to a fully time served whatever.
Yeah.
In my eyes, the company's better off paying more to get someone who knows exactly what they're doing, who can drive and who can do the job.
I suppose it's that your time is money, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're going to invest in someone that's that bit more competent, that can essentially sort of provide you a better return for the wages that you're paying.
100%.
I mean, is YTS, is that something that you think from where you are now? Would you perhaps, if the government rang you up and said, Karl, we're a bit stuffed here, what can we do? Do you think the YTS could be a good thing again?
No.
No?
Back in the day, when I was 18, 19, you couldn't walk into a factory and process food or whatever for a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
Whereas I think now, a lot of children are going, well, hang on, instead of just earning £160 a week, I can go and work in a food factory and get £300 a week. So I think if the likes of a YTS come back in, you would get less.
Yeah.
People.
Interesting. So you don't think younger generation? Because I mean, I suppose like with your YTS, what you did was you acquired skills.
Yeah.
Which again is an investment in yourself. I mean, I do courses where I'm even paying for the course.
Yeah.
To give myself skills that will allow me to hopefully at some point make a return on that investment. And I'm not sure that we talk enough about that in this country, that sort of investment. Obviously, either in a literal sense, investing in like your pension one day, but also investing in yourself. And that is that sort of time to improve yourself, make yourself more employable or more valuable.
Yeah, totally. That's the problem now, is that's the gap. A lot of kids want to come out of school and earn £300, £400 a week.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do that with an apprenticeship.
But the apprenticeship will give them, I suppose it's that delayed gratification.
Well,
it's
you've
not
got to crawl before you walk.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to basically, you start low and build on that. Which I think leads us back into exactly what you were saying. You have admitted yourself that you could very easily become a dropout. You didn't. You've gone on from not a great deal of encouragement, frankly, from your school, and put yourself in a position where you've got a successful business where you can even employ your own children. What was it? Because it wasn't school. What gave you, I suppose that gave you that belief in yourself?
After I'd served my time, I think you were 21, 22 when you were finally served your time.
Yeah.
Whereas now, it's 19 or 18, that's the difference. And I ended up working down London. And the company that I worked for, they said, oh, would you like to be in charge of all the lads? And I'm like, oh. So I did.
Yeah.
And I enjoy, and I know you shouldn't get stressed and everything, but I do love stress and whatnot.
Some people thrive under stress. And if you're that kind of person, then there's definitely a place for you in that kind of environment. Yeah.
When I ended up moving up here, I thought to myself, I'll start my own business.
Simple as that.
I went on a course at Steel House, next to McDonald's in Concert,
Yeah.
which it wasn't really for me, but I stuck it out because I wanted to work for myself.
Did that make you feel as though you were back at school?
It made me feel like, what am I doing here? And I had to keep saying to myself, I'm here because I need to get this course done to be able to set my own business.
So you very much saw that as a means to an end. So there's something in it for you. You know what you're getting out of it, and so the difference between then and your school days, I've got something worth turning up for, something worth showing up for.
But then after the course, when I look back now, it's really easy to start your own business up.
Why don't more people do it?
Because I think a lot of people think, oh, what if it fails? You never know if it's going to fail until you try it.
That's absolutely fair enough, yeah.
And it's pointless going through the rest of your life regretting not trying it.
Mm.
If it fails, it fails. At least you've had a go.
Were you that? Because I mean, how old were you when you started this? Did you say it was? Were you 21 when you're doing this course at Derwent College?
No, it'll have been 24 years ago.
I'll let you do the maths.
So I'll have been 26.
Right, so that's still pretty young.
Yeah.
That's still pretty young. Were you worried about the failure? Were you worried that maybe your mates might take the mick if it didn't work?
No. I was more of a, let's bring it on.
Right. Just weren't bothered. Just.
I wasn't like, oh God, what if it doesn't work?
Mm.
You make it. I knew I could make it work with doing what I did down London. It come to a point where there's no way I could have worked for another firm.
Why is that?
I couldn't have been told, right, you're having a 10 o'clock tea break, you're having a 12 o'clock dinner break, and a 3 o'clock tea break, and you're going home at 4:30.
So is it that you just like that control over your own life?
Yeah.
Is that the main thing for you? Or do you just not like authority?
No, it was just, as well, I used to think, how much money is he making out of me?
I think that's quite an astute thing to think about when you're that young. I think it's just quite a wise thing to think about, really. And if you've got the presence of mind to realise that you can do what your employer's doing and reap those rewards, then I think fair play.
But I also had friends in Middlesbrough, where I'm from, who still do have their own company, and they were like 20 blokes working for them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, like that's amazing. And they're still going now.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'd love to. How much money? You sort of get not money greedy.
Mm.
Yeah. It's not all about money. I'm one of them now where it's, as long as my family's all right, I don't want to become a millionaire.
I was going to say, I think it's interesting because we've been chatting about your motivations for starting up, and this is the first time you mentioned money. So, like, money's not the prime motivator. You're not driven to become a multi-billionaire or anything like that.
No, because I just live in a normal house.
Yeah, you want to be comfortable.
Yeah,
and
I
not
want my family to be happy.
There are, I'm sure, millionaire painter and decorators. If with the contacts you've got, if you replicated that, I would say that what you're doing, I would tentatively suggest that that's achievable for you if you wanted it and you were driven by that.
Yeah, see, God, we're talking, 8-9 years ago, I was signing £250,000 contracts and £500,000 contracts. But the stress, and it also meant that I wasn't going to Mrs. Jones's house to paint a living room.
Yeah.
And I hated every single minute of it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Because I wasn't hands-on.
Yeah.
I was going around checking all the jobs, making sure everything was all fine, and I hated it.
And so your preference is to actually be doing the job then?
Yeah, 100%.
Right. I think
As
that's
you know, we did a 12-hour night shift last night.
Yeah.
And
And you're still smiling.
yeah, I'm a one of them. I love my job.
Yeah. Which
And
I
there's
think
not many people can say that.
no, you do get a lot of people complaining about the job. I think that's, and I do think that's half the problem that we've got in this country at the moment. People just not satisfied with their lot, and that might be for any myriad of reasons. They might not have enough money, which is legitimate.
Yeah.
They just might have a job that they hate, which again is legitimate. And again, to bring it back to the school thing, I just think if we could maybe sort of, not even necessarily just schools, but if there's a country, we could help people discover what they're good at and where their passions lie.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and it's interesting. I mean, I've spoken to you the other day. I've had a bit of building work done myself. I've let that be known across LinkedIn. People know I've had to put the podcast on hiatus and do a few revisits and things like that. And a number of builders that I've spoken to, and just people that I know that are handed with the DIY, they enjoy the DIY aspect. A lot of them all say they can't stand painting and decorating.
I know.
And a lot of people are saying that sort of painter and decorators now are charging a fortune because they know that other people don't enjoy it. So if you, as you are, if you're passionate about it, then clearly that is a...
I don't think it's a case of charging a fortune. I think it's...
I say charging a fortune, I think that's their perception.
Yeah.
No one ever likes paying out money, do they? And they think that what they're worth is obviously a lot more.
But painter and decorators have always been the lowest of the low as a tradesman.
Mm.
We are the bottom of the ladder. And at the minute, thankfully, we're going up that ladder.
Yeah.
And overtaking other trades. And because it's like, the joiner's been, the plasterer's been. Who's the one that still fills it all up and sorts it all out and makes it look nice?
It's interesting because there is a lot to do there, isn't there, in terms of your preparation and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about just going and sort of slinging a paintbrush around.
No.
You've got your caulking, you've got your preparation, filling, any sort of cracks that have been left by the plasterer, and a lot going on.
I mean, you get people who say, who've, like, I don't know, done their own living room and think, hang on, I'll be able to do this. And have a go at themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fair play, have a go.
And I must admit, I do quite enjoy occasionally doing some paint and decorate because it's so different to everything else that I do. I've not got the skills to do the electricians, plumbers, jobs. But you know, with the help of a couple of YouTube videos, a few tips here and there, maybe on TikTok or something like that, I think I can. It's something I'm personally comfortable having a go at.
It's something that you can go to B&Q and then paint your living room in the afternoon.
Whether you make a good job of it.
No, but you can't go and say, right, I'm going to move an socket to that side of the... I wouldn't even dream of it.
Yeah.
No one would unless you were an electrician.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the problem lies there a lot.
I mean, I have also heard it say that painters and decorators get an awful lot of credit because when all's said and done, you guys make things look nice.
Yeah, with the end product, aren't we?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. And it's nice, you know, once you've done to like sort of stand back and think, wow, yeah, that's good. I suppose yourselves and the carpet fitters to give them the credit.
Yeah. Well, it's us and then the carpet fitters and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are the last ones in.
Yeah.
Wait, it should be. Never happens like that, but you know.
That's it.
But yeah.
So I mean, is that what gives you the pleasure from your job then? Is it the fact that you're going to like a bland room and then you come out of it and it looks nice, beautifully coloured and...
I love walking out of a job and the customer like just smiling.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, that's nice. That. But I'm one of them as well. If I say I don't like the colour, I will say I don't like the colour. But I will advise them as well.
Yeah.
I do a visit beforehand and I'll say, oh, you don't want that colour, it'll look wrong.
Is that something that's instinctive? Is that a skill that you've acquired through experience?
I would think it's a skill I've acquired.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. It's also like knowing how much paint. And they say, well, you need your maths. I don't use it's in my head. Like,
Yeah.
oh, if someone says, oh, I've got 15 square metres of this to paint, I'll say, can I just come and have a look, and I'll tell you exactly how much paint you need.
But was that something that you found easy to do when you started, or is that something that...
No, it's quite easy, really. Just picked it up straight away.
You see, that's interesting, because, I mean, had maths been taught to you in that way, then...
Yeah, it would have helped.
It certainly would have helped, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And would have probably maybe got you a qualification, just because the teaching method would have been different and relevant. And as I say, same thing with like your accounts. I mean, you may be the sort of person like myself that farms out their accounts, but at the end of the day, you still need to be aware kind of what's coming in and what's going out to balance those books.
Oh yeah, so. I mean, I've still got to do obviously my yearly accounts and then my VAT as well every quarter.
Yeah. Because that's
and
fun,
then
isn't
give them to the accountant to make sure it's all right. But I've picked that up myself.
Yeah.
And even my stepdaughter, like, I know this is silly, but on the chase where, you know, say if they've got 27 grand divided by 4 or whatever, and I'm straight away, I'm like, oh, they're getting that much each. And she's like, how do you know that quick?
If you're sat there and you're telling me that you're in bottom sets at school, yet now your mental arithmetic does happen like that, to me that seems to be that something was missed that perhaps
because
shouldn't have been.
Like I said it earlier, I think it's because or they're being quiet over there in the corner, let's just leave them alone, do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But little Jimmy here has been a little
demanding attention.
Yeah.
Mm. It's interesting because, I mean, as a teacher, you're often sort of trained not to give attention to the kids that are demanding it like that, but often is the case, those kids that are demanding that level of attention, they've not got those boundaries in place, and they'll take it to a place where you absolutely have to give the attention, and it's, you know, your kids like yourselves suffer from that. What bothers me, I think, about all of this is when you're saying, because you didn't have a natural aptitude for what was going on at school, apart from the PE and things like that, that could have left you, in your own words, as a dropout. That's going to be, you know, in the sort of person that's in a position where they're not really contributing much to society. You've gone totally the other way and become an employer and made a success of your life. But school didn't seem to help you with that. In fact, seemed to hinder you with that, because it didn't even leave you equipped to fill in your forms for your course. It's
even like now I can't write up joint writing. Everything when I write, it's got to be in capitals because I can't.
Right.
Yeah, I can't write like properly.
Yeah, but you've still made it work.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known several stories I've been aware of people in a similar situation. They maybe have been dyslexic, they can't read and write, but they've gone on and they've just got round it.
Like, I'm not the greatest speller either.
Well, you're certainly not alone with that.
And I think, as well at school, because you weren't getting any focus at school, you weren't really taught properly at school because of you were in the bottom.
I think it depends on the school. And we were talking like off camera about how schools are incentivised and like the stress that they put on the tests. And I mean, certainly the school, when I was working as a teacher teaching GCSEs, the priority, because of a government target, the priority was very much focused on two areas: the kids that could get a C, the borderline kids like D to C, and there was a push on to really get the highest achievers getting A stars, and which was ludicrous really, because I mean, one of the tactics we'd use was we'd put the kids, you know, like if kids failed the GCSEs, they could resit in November when they were 16. Schools because of the pressure that was on to get good GCSE grades, schools started to put their year 11 pupils in for the GCSEs in November. So they'd get the grades. If they'd got the target grade, that's fine. They could then go off and concentrate on other things. If they'd not got the target grade, they could then resit again when traditionally, in the summer, when traditionally people would take the GCSEs.
Yeah.
And I remember I had a class where I had pupils that had got grade A's having to resit to get an A star. Now, no one is telling me that there is any benefit to that child to get an A star when they could have gotten an A. And it's just ludicrous. That all that sort of pressure on the exams. And as I say, they could have been helping lads like you or young lasses in a similar situation get that basic education.
Yeah.
So you're left thinking, right, well, reading and writing's not for me. And that's fine. It's not for everybody. We've already said it's, everyone's got their own strengths and it's important that you play to them. But you should have been in a position where you could have left thinking, well, reading and writing's not for me, but I'm happy filling in this form.
Yeah.
But you've said you weren't, and that to me is wrong.
Is it? It's a confidence thing as well, isn't it? I think.
Yes.
School.
Massively.
You've got I was never confident. The only time I was confident is when, I wasn't there.
I was going to say, would you regard yourself as confident now?
100%.
Definite answer. Confident answer.
Yeah, totally.
So when did that change?
I would say when I started my own business up. Because you've got to be in my eyes, you can't go into Mrs. Jones's house and go, this, that, right, buy.
Yeah.
That's your price. You've got to go in happy and bit crack with them.
Leaving them confident.
And I think if they don't see that you're confident, you're not going to get that job.
No.
And then the confidence, it just becomes normal.
Yeah.
I'll never go and knock on someone's door panicking, thinking, oh my God.
It's a shame that school wasn't able to bring that out with you.
No.
When it's, or maybe that's just something that happens, like sort of this journey that we're all on. But one thing I do have to ask you, you've mentioned Mrs. Jones's house a few times.
Yeah.
And we also know that you've got these larger contracts that you deal with. Mrs. Jones's house, is that what you prefer to do? We're using Mrs. Jones metaphorically, I'm assuming.
No, not I like a mixture of it all, really.
So the variety.
Yeah, because I shouldn't say this, but I get bored. So say if I'm in someone's house for 2 weeks doing the full house, by the end of the second week I'm like, I need to be on another job now, because this is why I would never have been able to work in a factory or anything. Yeah. Because my mindset is, not that I would do a bad job, you're just like, let's get on to the next.
Anyone that works for themselves, your work ethic has to be there. Yeah. It can't not be there, otherwise your business isn't. Simple as that. But yeah, you do need, I suppose, that fresh challenge, I suppose, don't you? Yeah. Which is what you sound to be chasing.
But it's like, I could go in to Mrs. Jones's house, do a living room, absolutely amazing, and then the next day go into somewhere that's not very nice and make that livable, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It doesn't bother me. No. But I know that someone's going to be happy.
Yeah. The happier once you've done your job than what they were before. Yeah. That's it. And so you've got that personal, that human impact that you can see and that you clearly thrive from. We've had your story. I think we've put the education system to rights. What's the future look like for Derwent Decorators then?
The future? I would say I can see my son and daughter taking over if I hang the brushes up.
Do you think you could?
No.
You think you're always going to want to?
Yeah, I think I'll always want to do it. But I could take a back seat.
Yeah. I suppose, it's still a physical job, isn't it? And it's like,
it's hard work.
Yeah. It's still a physically hard job.
My kids now are like, no wonder your knees hurt your elbows, your shoulders, your neck, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you're only 18, you're only 21. But as long as I can, my thing now is to bring them up how I am,
Yeah.
how I work, and then they won't have a problem in life whatsoever with work.
Yeah. So basically, that's it. It's hopefully continue the family business, knowing that you've instilled that work ethic in your kids.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think you'd be much more admirable in that, and in which case I think that's a perfect way to say it. I wish you all the best in that, because I'm
Thank you very
pretty
much.
certain it's going to happen. Carl, thanks for coming on.
Hopefully. Cheers.
Cheers.